He'd already served 10 years behind bars for a crime he swore he didn't commit. 10 long years of silence, of waiting, of losing everything. But the day she came to visit, something changed. She wasn't alone. The baby in her arms had his father's eyes. And in that moment, across the glass, something inside him snapped. 2 weeks later, they were both dead. You're watching Dark Motives. If you're drawn to true crime stories that make your blood run cold, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. This is the story of Marcus Bell, a man who walked into prison at 27 and walked out 10 years later with nothing but rage. He was sentenced for armed robbery in 2014. A getaway gone wrong. He claimed he was set up by someone close, someone in the crew, but no one listened. Still, he did his time quietly. No fights, no trouble, just silence. On the outside, his wife Tamara waited. She visited him twice a month, wrote letters, posted his photo every birthday. To everyone watching, she was loyal. But behind the scenes, something darker was growing. Tamara had moved back in with Marcus's father, Paul Bell, after struggling to pay rent. A temporary arrangement, she said. What happened in that house would never be forgiven. By the time Marcus found out the truth, it was too late. This case shocked the state of Illinois, a double murder that tore a family apart, and left one question burning in the public's mind. Did prison turn Marcus into a killer, or was he already one? Marcus grew up in East St. Louis, not the safest place to raise a child, but his mother did her best. She worked nights, cleaned houses, stayed out of trouble. His father, Paul Bell, was a different story. Paul was one of those men who could charm anyone, a mechanic by trade, a hustler by instinct. Always had cash, always had women. He came and went as he pleased. And when Marcus was 10, he left for good. Or at least that's what Marcus thought. Fast forward to 2010. Marcus met Tamara at a block party. She was 19, full of energy, studying nursing part-time. Marcus was already running with the wrong crowd, but he made her laugh. That was all it took. Within 2 years, they were married. By 2014, Tamara was pregnant. That same year, Marcus got caught in a robbery gone bad. He wasn't armed, but the others were. One of the crew shot a store clerk. Marcus was the driver. Wrong place, wrong time. But the court didn't care. His public defender didn't fight hard. Tamara cried through the whole trial. The judge gave Marcus 15 years. He kissed her belly before they took him away. Their son was born 3 months later. That was the last time Marcus felt hope. Marcus was processed into Menard Correctional, a max security prison with cold walls, colder guards, and no patience for excuses. He didn't talk much, didn't bang with any crew, just kept his head down and stuck to the same routine. Push-ups, books, letters. Tamara stayed loyal, at least at first. She brought their son every few months, showed Marcus school photos, kept him updated on birthdays and report cards. But slowly, the visits stopped. First came the excuses. Car trouble. Sick baby. Overtime at work. Then the letters started arriving without return addresses. Then, silence. Marcus asked his mother to check in on Tamara, but she was battling cancer by then. No one else in the family stepped up. No one really cared. Except Paul. Out of nowhere, his father started showing up again, calling, writing, offering to look out for Tamara while Marcus did his time. Marcus didn't like it. But what could he do? He was behind glass, and Paul had a smile that fooled anyone. So Marcus bit his tongue. And waited. Tamara tried. For the first few years, she really did. Raising a child alone, working double shifts at the hospital, paying rent in a city that didn't care. The weight got heavier every month. Her car broke down. Her landlord raised the rent. The daycare bills piled up. And Paul Bell, Marcus's estranged father, was right there. He offered help. Fixed her car for free. Paid the rent 1 month. Watched the boy when she couldn't get off her shift. Just until you get back on your feet, he told her. Eventually, Tamara moved into his spare room. No one knew exactly when it shifted, when the help became something else. Neighbors noticed she stopped wearing her wedding ring. They saw Paul picking her up from work. And then came the pregnancy. Tamara told no one who the father was. She said it was a mistake, that she didn't plan to keep the baby. But when the sonogram came, she changed her mind. She told friends she'd explain everything to Marcus when the time is right. But that time never came, not the way she expected. Inside the prison walls, Marcus felt the shift long before anyone said a word. The letters were colder, shorter. His son stopped drawing him pictures. Then, after 8 months of silence, Tamara showed up, unannounced, holding a newborn baby. Marcus was stunned. He stood in that visiting room, staring through the glass, waiting for her to say something. Anything. But Tamara just smiled. "I thought you deserved to meet her." Marcus stared at the baby girl. Something wasn't right. The eyes. They were too familiar. Paul Bell had those same deep-set, pale brown eyes, that same sharp nose. Marcus asked the question without saying it. Just stared, his jaw clenched. Tamara avoided his eyes. She kept her voice low. "It's not what you think." But Marcus knew. Right there, in that moment. The silence between them cracked wide open. He walked back to his cell that day and didn't speak for 3 days. Then he made a phone call, to his cousin on the outside. Just one sentence. "I need to know the truth." His cousin didn't ask questions. Just watched. Followed Tamara for 2 weeks. Took photos. Caught Paul picking her up from the clinic. Caught him staying over. The final blow came when he saw Paul holding the baby. Not like a grandfather. Like a father. Marcus received the envelope during mail call. Inside, 8 photos. One of Tamara kissing Paul outside a grocery store, one of Paul carrying the baby seat, and one of all 3 of them walking down the sidewalk, like a family. The guard said Marcus didn't move for almost an hour, just sat on the edge of his bunk, silent. That night, he didn't eat. The next morning, he requested a visitation. Said he wanted to apologize. Said he wanted closure. The prison chaplain called it a breakthrough. But it wasn't peace Marcus was after. It was blood. Tamara arrived that Sunday with the baby in her arms. She looked tired, nervous, but she smiled through it like always. Marcus was already in the visiting room, sitting at the table, no glass this time, face to face, a privilege earned through good behavior. He stood when she entered, hugged her gently, looked at the baby. "What's her name?" he asked. Tamara hesitated. "Maya." "Maya Bell?" She didn't answer. The guard stood a few feet away, arms folded. Marcus glanced at him, nodded politely. For 15 minutes he asked questions. How was school? How was their son? Then he leaned in, voice low, calm. "Why him?" Tamara froze. "Marcus, I gave you everything," he said. No anger in his voice, just that cold, surgical tone you only hear right before the break. "He was there. I was alone. I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "Does he love you?" "I don't know." Marcus nodded, looked down at the baby, smiled, just barely. "You should go," he said. "You won't want to be here next time I see him." Tamara stood slowly. She didn't say goodbye, just turned and walked away, holding her daughter and her guilt. Paul Bell never saw it coming. 2 weeks after the visit, Marcus was released early on parole. Good behavior, overcrowding, 10 years served. He walked out with a plastic bag of clothes and a fire behind his eyes. He didn't go home. He didn't call his son. He went straight to Paul's house. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon. No neighbors outside. No cameras. Tamara was in the kitchen making lunch. Paul was in the living room, bouncing Maya on his knee. Marcus rang the bell once. Tamara answered the door. Her face went pale. "Where's he?" Marcus asked. She didn't answer. He pushed past her. Calm, focused. Paul stood up slowly when he saw him. "Son." That was the last word he ever said. Marcus pulled a small revolver from his waistband. One shot to Paul's chest. He dropped instantly. Tamara screamed, grabbed the baby, tried to run. Marcus turned, aimed. One shot. Tamara collapsed at the front door, blood pooling beneath her, the baby somehow unharmed. Marcus didn't run. He sat on the porch, put the gun on the ground, and waited for the sirens. The story hit the news before the bodies were even moved. Photos of Paul and Tamara flooded every screen. Smiling, innocent. No one talked about why. No one mentioned betrayal. Just a man with a record. And a gun. Marcus confessed the moment the police arrived. No resisting, no explanation. Just silence. During interrogation, they asked if he felt remorse. He stared at the table and said one thing. They knew what they were doing. The trial was short. No jury needed. Marcus pled guilty to both murders. The judge called him cold, calculated, and beyond redemption. Life in prison, no parole, no appeal. During sentencing, Marcus didn't look up once, until they showed him a photo of Maya. That's when he cried. Just one tear. His only request was that Maya be raised by someone outside the family. She didn't choose any of this, he said. And with that, the courtroom went silent. Some stories don't end with justice. They end with scars. Marcus Bell went into prison angry at the world. But what broke him wasn't prison. It was home. A father who abandoned him, then stole what little he had left. A wife who said she'd wait, but chose the one man she knew would destroy him. What Marcus did was unforgivable. But what they did? That's the kind of betrayal that doesn't just cut deep. It rewrites you. Now he sits in a concrete box for the rest of his life. No letters, no visitors, just silence, and a little girl, who will grow up never knowing the real story of how she came into this world. Maybe that's mercy. Maybe it's the final punishment. Thanks for watching Dark Motives. If this story shook you, share it, comment your thoughts, and hit that subscribe button. We dig deeper than headlines here. Until next time, stay sharp.